TensorFlow dataset questions about shuffle, batch and repeat. I had a question about the use of batch, repeat and shuffle with tf.dataset. It is not clear to me exactly how repeat and shuffle are used. I understand that .batch will dictate how many training examples will undergo stochastic gradient descent. The uses of .repeat and .shuffle are still not clear to me. First question. Even after reviewing here and here, .repeat is used to reiterate over the dataset once a tf.errors.autofringe error is thrown. Therefore, in my code does that mean I no longer have to implement because .repeat will automatically repeat the dataset once it is exhausted? When does it stop? Or will it never stop and you just have to exit out of the while true loop once a certain number of batches, say 1000, have passed? Second question. Secondly, the use .shuffle makes no sense to me. Does .shuffle.batch imply that I have, say, 100,000 samples, put 1000 randomly in a buffer with .shuffle, then batch say, 100 of them with .batch? From my understanding, the next batch will use 999 of those samples and place one new one in the buffer. So if my samples have no order to them, then .shuffle should be avoided altogether? And if .batch is used, it would still batch 100 from those 999 plus 1 in the buffer? Third question. And lastly, if I am using a separate td.dataset object for testing, what order of .shuffle.batch should I consider? Right now I use with I have over 110,000 training examples at my disposal, so self.batch_size will set the number of samples I want to use to test my accuracy. So, if I wanted to just test on the whole test dataset, I wouldn't use .batch? But since I have it iterating over the whole dataset with while true, it makes no difference? With the use of .shuffle, I noticed my accuracies changed, but without it they were very similar. This makes me think .shuffle is randomizing the batch and maybe reusing training examples?
First question. That's correct. If you feed a dataset, you no longer need to catch the out-of-fringe error. Repeat takes an optional argument for the number of times it should repeat. This means repeat 10 will iterate over the entire dataset 10 times. If you choose to omit the argument, then it will repeat indefinitely. Second question. Shuffle, if used, should be called before batch. We want to shuffle records, not batches. The buffer is first filled by adding your records in order, then, once full, a random one is selected and omitted, and a new record read from the original source. If you have something like then in order to return a single batch, this last step is repeated 100 times, maintaining the buffer at 1000. Batching is a separate operation. Third question. Generally we don't shuffle a test set at all, only the training set. We evaluate using the entire test set anyway, right? So why shuffle? So, if I wanted to just test on the whole test dataset, I wouldn't use batch. That's so. At least not always. You would certainly need to use batch if your whole test dataset didn't fit into memory, a common occurrence. You would want to test the whole dataset but to run the numbers in manageable bytes.
If you want to see more, please consider subscribing.